Afternoon, everybody. So, for those that are familiar with my channel, you all know narcissists love authority, and not just authority they actually have. When a narcissist gains even the littlest bit of authority, they're going to stretch it and claim they have authority in areas where they don't. And this is commonly seen in the workplace. A narcissistic manager of any kind will claim authority, like they can tell who their underlings can talk to, who they can talk to off the clock, and even try to claim authority over people in different departments, because to them, them being a manager means that they're essentially like the queen of everything. And they not only are the people that work for them completely subordinate to them in all aspects of their life on and off the clock, but they believe they have power over anybody who, even nominally works for the same country or company, completely in a different department, even if that other person, is a supervisor of a different department. That would be like, for example, a police lieutenant trying to tell a firefighter that they are their boss. They may work for the same city, but they're in different departments. A firefighter is not subordinate to a police lieutenant. They're, fire department, police department. They may be in the same city, but it's not the same thing. But a bigger epidemic with narcissists is impersonating authority. So when a narcissist can't gain even the littlest bit of authority that they crave, to try to expand it well beyond its actual bounds, they'll just make it up. They'll just give titles to themselves. And perhaps the best example of this, because he's an example of the two main points I'm going to discuss and what type of authority they try to steal. The best example would be Jeremy DeWitte. Jeremy DeWitte, the notorious Motor One, the funeral escort, the man who jumped in the Fallujah. He is the most well-known and, I'll be honest, most entertaining police impersonator to watch, because he videos most of his own crimes. And, if you watch those videos, I've done a few videos on him, he's quite the narcissist. The delusions of grandeur, the overt narcissism, the double standards, the entitlement is strong with Motor One. So he was unable to become a cop because he impersonated a cop when he was 18 and then became a registered sex offender. So he just basically, tried to make himself as police-like as possible. Like he created his own pseudo police department, of which of course he's the commander with, and wears all the get up that he didn't earn, and then tries to claim authority as a cop. Now narcissists do this because they want to act out how they see themselves the best they can, but also they want the praise, adulation, and privilege of those positions of authority. DeWitte, for example, when he's running a funeral escort business, which is a legal business, but there are restrictions of what they can and can't do, I won't get too deep into that. But for example, yes, they are allowed to run purple lights. No, they are not allowed to direct traffic. DeWitte often does, beats on people's car hoods, yells like he's a cop, gives orders people to pull over, none of which are within his authority. He can stay at the light after it turns red and ensure that a funeral procession continues through a red light if they started on a green, until the whole procession is through. And that's about all he can do. He would weave in and out of traffic like a traffic officer. He would constantly use police sirens, which is not allowed. And I mention these as examples because when confronted by the police, here comes, the narcissist delusion. When they grant themselves authority, in their mind, they have it. In DeWitte's mind, for example, he's a cop, and he interacts with other cops, which he loves, because part of narcissists wanting authority is to get the attention that they want. So he loves all the police attention, because in his mind, when he's interacting with a cop, he's interacting with a fellow officer. That's his brother. He's not being arrested. He's one of them. So, and then of course the double standards and delusions and entitlement and twisting of facts happens, because he'll always claim when confronted with the cause, oh, we don't run sirens. But then yet on his own helmet cam, he'll tell his guys, oh, we're going by this, this sheriff's department, keep it easy with those police sirens. It's like, wait a minute, I thought you didn't use those, but you can hear them in your video. Things like things like that. Or he'll claim, he'll of course deny impersonating a police officer, but then he will direct traffic and yell at other motorists that this is a, quote, police escort. So, he's dressed like a cop. He's got a motorcycle that's very law enforcement looking, and then he's then claiming that it's a police escort. I'm not a cop, I'm not in law enforcement, but I think if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and you're saying you're a duck, then you can't deny indeed that you are a duck. But to a narcissist, that's perfectly fine. In a narcissist mind, if they want a specific type of authority and cannot obtain it, or cannot obtain something close to then stretch it to, they'll give it to themselves because they want the praise, the adulation, and the privilege of those positions. This is particularly true with law enforcement, because while, yes, narcissists would love and crave the praise and adulation from other professions that people tend to praise, like actors, sports stars, politicians to some degree. Walking down the street, you don't know, unless somebody is, quite famous, you don't know if somebody's, say, like a minor league sports star or a state legislator. But a cop, where's, for them, unless you're a plainclothes officer or detective, most cops wear a uniform. You can tell them walking down the street, that is a police officer. And police officers, typically people treat them differently because, they have authority to a degree, depending on the situation. So DeWitte, as a narcissist, wants to be seen as a cop, has the copish looking haircut and everything, wants to be seen in that light. But that's not enough for him because, of course, like most narcissists, they have whatever authority they give themselves, and they're the best at anything they touch. But there's also another major epidemic that I think in part is driven by narcissism, and that's the stolen valor epidemic, where narcissists not only want authority, but they want to be praised as a hero, as a symbol of respect, as a symbol of patriotism. And the same, as a cop, that gives them authority, and they can thus get their narcissistic supply through messing with people, which they very much enjoy. And they typically get away with it as long as they look the part enough, because people assume at the time that there's some type of law enforcement. So that's the major draw for the authority craving narcissist for becoming a cop, to be able to get their not only praise and adulation, but more so their narcissistic supply in, acting out this fantasy with people who do not know that they're a fraud. So they're getting treated for what they want. And yeah, they like the attention from other cops too, because DeWitte thinks when he's being arrested, he's interacting with his brothers. It's, he acts like he's one of them. If you watch his videos, just look at his speech, and he thinks he knows more than all the cops too. Wrongfully citing in a lot of cases certain Florida laws. But the other main one, the ones who really like the praise and, want everybody to look at them like they're something elite, like they're the best, would be the stolen valor epidemic, And people who steal valor are usually, they want to be the elite. They want to be the heroes everybody knows about. So the two most common are Green Berets and Navy SEALs. Check out Don Shipley's channel, former Buds 131, for if you're not familiar with what stolen valor is. He has some very good videos called Phony Navy SEAL of the Week. Don Shipley is a retired SEAL senior chief. He's an actual SEAL. And now in his retirement, he takes down SEAL imposters. And if you want to see a guy who's a master at calling people out, I talk about calling out narcissists, but if you want to see how to call somebody out effectively, watch some of Senior Chief Shipley's videos. He's great at it. And it's entertaining as hell too. But those that, steal valor, they want that hero status. And DeWitte is another prime example. That's why he's the perfect example for the points I'm trying to make. He also claims to be a former Green Beret. And DeWitte never served in the military. He not only claims to be a Green Beret, he also claims to be an officer. So throughout various videos of him filming himself, he'll claim to be a retired captain. He claims to have jumped in the Fallujah, and Fallujah, sadly, was, happened in the Iraq War, and we lost a lot of American soldiers in that. It's still debated today on the planning of that. But he claims to have parachuted in, and as many actual veterans have said nobody parachuted in the Fallujah. But he wants that hero status, that adulation, that status of, I'm a true American hero and an elite, not just I serve my country. I'm a Green Beret. You're claiming to be a Green Beret or a Navy SEAL. You're really going for, that hero status. Some people some people, commit stolen valor. They're just looking for like a veteran's discount here and there, and they'll claim, something like they were a Jeep mechanic for 4 years or something. But the ones that, are truly living the lie, that have the fake costume and everything, and, always bragging about who they were and have the tattoos and everything, they're always claiming something elite. Green Beret, Navy SEAL, Coast Guard rescue swimmer, Air Force pararescue, Marine recon, things of that nature. So, narcissists will try to get authority in any way they can. As I said, to summarize, the main reason is they want the praise and adulation of those positions. They want the respect. They want the authority that comes with those positions, because that gives them an easier way to gain their narcissistic supply by exerting the authority of those positions that they cannot have, that they crave, that they gave themselves. That's the narcissist in stolen valor or impersonating positions of authority, such as police. Narcissists crave power. They believe they own everybody. They believe they can say or do anything to anyone with no repercussions, because in their minds, the rules don't apply to them. So be advised, when someone you know or come across is claiming to be a member of law enforcement when they're not, which you probably won't encounter that, hopefully, but more commonly, if someone you know is claiming to be former military and they are not, or claiming a position within the military that they never obtained, usually an elite unit of some kind, you're most likely dealing with a narcissist, because it's very, very narcissistic to pretend to be something you're not in order to crave that authority and respect that comes with it. So be advised, it's a pattern of behavior if you encounter somebody like that. And be advised, a narcissist will always stretch what authority they actually have. I've talked about that in my videos about narcissistic bosses. But yes, narcissists will also grant themselves power and authority through positions that they don't have, because in their minds, in their delusional minds, they have it. And since they can't get it, they're going to give it to themselves, because a narcissist wants what they want at any cost. So if they can't live their fantasy, they're going to act it out as closely as possible and act as if they're the real deal. So I hope this video was helpful about why narcissists crave power and will impersonate positions of authority when they cannot obtain them. Remember to trust your intuition. If you think somebody is lying, particularly about being in a position of authority of some kind, trust your intuition and see if you can ask questions that will hopefully prove whether or not they're lying or not, or contact people who can make that verification for you. If, again, you think someone's a phony SEAL, you can always contact Don Shipley for verification on that. And remember, to a narcissist, their delusions are real. They are whoever they believe they are, who they think they are. So do not sell out your integrity to appease their delusions, because that'll just reel you in, and the delusions will go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So hopefully that was helpful. Like and subscribe if you want, and tip me if you want. And please check out the older videos and playlists on the channel.